Hello, Jim Peterson. I live in Bellingham, Washington. I want to talk about politics, police violence, DAPL, all kinds of things. But what's inspired me to make this video is what I've seen in the last week and a half on Facebook, the debates. I watched about 30 seconds of the debates, and all I got was two kindergartners calling each other names. That's what I got out of the 30 seconds I watched. So I didn't watch anymore. But I watched the Jill Stein debate. And by the way, she did answer one of my questions about homelessness, because some of you might not know I was homeless for 15 plus years after I got out of the service. But with the election this year, I'm angry, but I'm going to try to keep calm in this video. I can't still believe that there's people out there that are for Bernie. I can't still believe there's people out there that think Bernie's going to win the election. Really? He's not running. But he is out there campaigning for Hillary. And what gets me about him campaigning for Hillary is how. How can he, for a year and a half, be out there talking about fighting corruption, fighting the establishment, fighting the 1%, fighting the banks, fighting fossil fuels, and then turn around and endorse a person that takes money from all of them and is everything that he talked about us fighting? So, if you're still Sanders, I gotta ask you, how stupid are you? Really? Now, people go, well, you hate Bernie, blah, blah, blah. He's done more for America than blah, blah, blah. Here's what I have to say to that. I give Bernie credit. He woke a lot of people up. He woke me up, for one. I always knew our government was corrupt. But after campaigning and canvassing and traveling 40,000 miles for Bernie Sanders, every day, including today, I learned just how much more corrupt our government was than I ever dreamed about. And it goes from the very top to the very bottom and everybody in between, the mayors, the governors, blah, blah, blah. And the same progressive keeps saying that until a candidate addresses the election fraud and the voter suppression and gets money out of politics, what's the fucking point? And I have to agree with her. What is the point? If money's in politics, then they don't have to listen to you or me. Why? Well, if enough of us get together, they have to. No, they don't. They don't need our money. And in case you haven't realized, the elections are rigged. So until we get money out of politics and address this election fraud and voter suppression, how can we create change? Aha, here's how. We start taking over shit. We start taking over city councils. We start taking over county councils. We start taking over state senate seats. We don't do it through the Democratic Party. This is the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. Oh, we're going to fix it from the inside. Imagine me, a heroin addict. I was a heroin addict for about 17 years. Imagine me saying, well, I'm going to get clean off heroin. I'm going to go live with my heroin dealer. Or a crackhead saying, I'm going to get clean, but I'm going to live in a crack house. It's kind of like, I'm going to change the Democratic Party from within. Do you think they're going to... Have you not paid attention? They don't give a shit what you think. They're just as bad, or even maybe worse, than the Republican Party right now. Call me people say I'm a Trump supporter. Really? You need to do your homework. So, I want to go on to this police violence. How many more people have got to die? How many more people have to get the shit beat out of them before people are willing to take to the streets in masses. We see it after some incidents, but other incidents we don't. We need to do mass demonstrations, mass civil disobedience. And I'm not saying all cops are bad. Don't get me wrong. They're not. But I also got to think of it this way. If you're a good cop and you're not saying anything, then does that make you a bad cop? If you see somebody raping somebody and you don't say anything, does that make you a rapist? No, but it makes you an accomplice. If you see somebody beating the shit out of somebody and you don't say something, does that make you part of it? No. We're all together on this planet. If we'd all work together, everybody talks about, well, they got more money, they got this, they got that, the 1%. Yeah, they got all the money. But look at it. Think about this. And I hate to use this analogy, but it's the only one that comes to my head right now. Just think. If you were going to war, and the enemy had 210 people, and you had, 310 billion people? Who would win? I don't give a fuck what kind of arms the 210 people have. We'd win. Well, guess what? That's exactly what the 1% is. 210 people control this country. And we're letting them because we are sheep. I've heard the argument, well, Bernie was threatened, Bernie was this, Bernie was that. Really? Show me proof. Just show me proof. Maybe he was. So was Martin Luther King, so was JFK, so was Nelson Mandela, so was Malcolm X. I can name people right and left, but did they stop? No, because they believed in what they were doing. Do I believe Bernie believed in what he was doing? Yeah. Building a Democratic base. He did a great job, didn't he? How many of you registered as Democrats just so you could vote for him? How many of you are still registered as Democrats and are going to follow him down this rabbit hole? Doesn't make any sense to me. Talk about, well, we got to vote the down ballot people. And really, if they're with the Democratic Party, then aren't they condoning what the Democratic Party did? If I was running for any office as a Democrat, as soon as all the WikiLeaks stuff, I would left the Democratic Party and found a different party. I wouldn't want to be associated with it. That's called integrity. You got to stand up for what you believe in. Now let's talk about DAPL. Everybody was like, oh, Obama put a stay on it. Really? He put a stay on about 10 miles of pipeline. The rest, they're still doing it today. Do you realize they're bringing in military police? Do you realize they're using arms against unarmed, not protesters? Let's get that straight. They're protectors of water. Do you realize they're not just protecting their own water, they're protecting the water of everybody downstream from that pipeline? Do you realize this pipeline is not the end, because when it gets to Illinois, then there's going to be another pipeline built from Illinois to Texas? If we would put all the money that we put into oil drilling, into green energy, we wouldn't need any oil because everything would be green. Duh! When are we as an American society going to wake up? I mean, I'm 59 years old, and I remember when I grew up, I lived on a quarter-mile road, and it was in the middle of the country. There was 20 houses on it. I knew everybody's name. I knew all the parents. All the parents knew every kid, and we took care of that street. If I did something wrong down at the other end of the street, I got my ass whipped down at the other end of the street by them people, and brought home to have my ass whipped again. And they took care of each other. When one person on the street needed something, we helped. You helped your neighbors. I remember my next door neighbor getting he got in a car wreck and got hurt really bad. So the kids on the block's parents made the kids go mow the grass for the guy, because that's what you do. If somebody needed a cup of sugar, you knocked on the door and gave them a cup of sugar. I mean, what happened to that? Where did that go? Where did it become all about me, 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 me? When did people stop looking at the big picture? You've got a house. You've got food. You've got clothes. You know what? There's about 3 million people living on the streets right now that don't have that. What are we going to do about that? How many of you walk by a homeless person every day and just ignore them? Or think to yourself, God, why don't they get a job? God. How about thinking this? Why are there so many homeless people in America? And then Clinton's comment about Bernie supporters being basement dwellers. I took real offense to that. And here's why I took offense to that. When I was growing up, my mom was a stay-home mom. My dad worked, was home by 5. We ate at 6. We had a routine. Yes, we were in a rut. We were that American dream family. House, white picket fence, 2.4 kids, 2 cars, blah, blah, blah. But back then, it only took one person to work, and they only had to work one job to support their family. Nowadays, both parents have to work, and usually one of the parents has to work more than one job. And then we wonder why our kids are running amok. I got off track. I have a 22-year-old son that lives with me. He's not a basement dweller because we don't have a basement. Why is he living with me? He just got done serving 4 years in the United States Navy because I couldn't afford to put him through college and I didn't want him to go in debt. So he did 4 years in the Navy, so now he's going to college. But with the money they give him, $1,500 a month to live on, in Bellingham, Washington, you can't find a single bedroom that he could afford. Because there is no affordable housing. So, calling Bernie supporters basement dwellers or whatever, look at the economy, the trickle-down bullshit. Oh, we'll give big companies tax breaks and they'll create jobs. Pay attention, people. People say $15 an hour minimum wage. You know, I don't even know whether that's enough to survive anymore. Because these companies, we don't only need $15 an hour minimum wage, but we need companies to step up to the plate. And instead of working people like my stepson that lives with us, because no company around here will hire people for full-time. Full-time, it's 40 hours a week. If you work 40 hours a week, you should be able to afford your own place and be self-sufficient. But no, these companies only work people 15 hours a week. Oh, why? So they don't have to pay benefits. They don't have to give vacation time. They don't have to do shit because you're a part-time employee. Or companies using day labor services like Manpower and that. That way they don't have to pay taxes or nothing. Do you realize? It's so screwed up, man. Our country